name is Anishada. Our group will present about the zakat on mining and burnt treasure. First of all, I will explain a little bit about the introductions on zakat on mining and burnt treasure. Zakat is a religious requirement that every Muslim must fulfill. Zakat is due to the 6 different forms of wealth. The riches earned through the hidden treasure and lost and recovered object are known as burnt treasure, while mineral are the type of riches generated from mines that take both capital and work to dig. Unless it needs cash and work to remove, it falls under the category of treasure. Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala prescribed zakat for human to clean the human heart of all manner of greed and miscellaneous, and also to create a just society in which well people act responsibly to support the less fortunate. For the next discussion, I will pass to my members.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurfalisha Nadia binti Jaafar. My matrix numbers is 272122. So I will continue about conditions for zakat on minerals and treasures. For zakat on minerals and treasures, there is not zakat on liquids like tar or solid minerals like rubies that can be made by fire. So the presence of Nisab is not a prerequisite in these first situations. For zakat to be imposed on minerals, he claims that 2 conditions must be met. So the firstly, the mineral must reach the Nisab after being cleansed of residues, and secondly, the zakat payer must be a Muslim. So that's all for me. So I will pass to the next presenter.
Now I will explain about the Nisab and how for the zakat on mineral and treasury. For the Nisab, it need to be paid once the accumulated of the mineral have reached the quantity of the Nisab. It have been supported by Ayah 276 in Surah Al-Baqarah that means, O you who believe, spend of the good thing you have legally earned and of that which you have produced from the earth for you. And for the how, majority of the scholars agree that how is not something that desire, because the same argument was applied to the zakat in agriculture. Uh, in Maliki school of thought, hold that minerals are similar to crop, with use only payable at harvest time and no need to how. As a result, this indicates that zakat on minerals should be applied during their extraction and processing without regard to the how requirement.
Measure of compulsory zakat on mineral and treasure. For this part, jurists have different opinion on the subtleties of zakat on mineral. Abu Hanifah of Hanafi school decided that the zakat on mineral incorporate metal that are immediately produced or flexed with heat. This allowance was based on analogies that to gold and silver, as both can be produced with heat, while Shafi'i taught and bound the commitment of zakat to be forced exclusively upon gold and silver. These contentions hence made sense that other significant strong or fluid mineral are rejected from zakat. It is the most notable perspective on Shafi'i school, while Hanafi school decided that all minerals are dependent upon zakat, including metal that can be manufactured with heat or not. Strong mineral like iron, coppers, and fluid mineral like oil and gas.
So we move to rate of zakat on minerals. Zakat on minerals have 3 categories, which is a single rate of 2.5%, second a single rate of 20%, and the last one a rate of 2.5% or 20% based upon the cost and effort involved in their extractions. So for a rate of 2.5%, scholars such as Shafi'i agree with these positions because the justifications for this was based of a narrative by Malik in Muwatta from Rabi'ah ibn Abi Abdul al-Rahman, that the messenger granted Hilal ibn al-Harith the minerals of Qabliyah, a coastal area far away from Medina, and that those minerals are charged only 2.5% of zakat until now. So despite the facts that this account has been challenged, so the facts remains that zakat is still collected from minerals. So for the second category, a single rate of 20%, scholars such as Abu Hanifa agree with the viewpoint. The explanation for this belief was based on the Prophet's statement that 1/5 is obligatory on rikas. Although there is a distinction between rikas and minerals, so Abu Hanifa maintained that they both had the same meaning, which is treasure of valuables discovered and collected beneath the earth's surface. So this Abu Hanifa, his greatest argument for the rate zakat on minerals. So for the last category, a rate of 2.5% or 20% based upon the cost and effort involved in their extraction. So based on Al-Rafi'i and Shafi'i scholars argues that the discrepancy between 20% and 2.5% is crucial because both that can be viewed as the minimum and maximum rate charge for minerals. So he also considered charging a charge for 10% or 5% on minerals. So depending on their narrowity, extraction labor and associated cost. Furthermore, charging a suitable rate of 10% or 5% in minerals cannot be considered as inventing a new rate difference from the current rates. So rather as being within the Sharia guideline, which is take into account the reason outlined above.
Now, I will explain about the potential and challenge in implementing the zakat on mineral. The first advantage is that it opens up new venue for the zakat collection. As we know that zakat applies to variety assets include income, business inventory, agriculture output, animals, gold and silver. So zakat will be applied to the mineral just like the other with a few conditions that need to apply. Next, it will increase the amount of zakat collected. With the payment of the zakat on mineral, it will increase the fund collection of zakat and it can be used to distribute to many Muslims that in need. And the last advantage is reduce reliance on zakat derived from income. Zakat institution can lessening their reliance on individual zakat payment from their salary or revenue by requiring zakat on this mineral. This is because zakat on mineral contribute directly to zakat collection. But there is obstacle to implementing the zakat on mineral. The first obstacle is lack of understanding and appreciation of the mineral. Muslims have not fully grasped the value of rarity of each of these minerals, so it's quite difficult to give the knowledge to the people about the mineral. The second is the lack of detailed zakat evaluation mechanism. For example, like value of each mineral after certifying the Nisab criteria, the assessment of calculating the mineral value, and the zakat computation. And the last obstacle is the complicated bureaucratic procedure. Some minerals are subject to administration of the country government, as well as the legislative and regulatory framework that govern mineral authority. This scenario make the implementing the zakat difficult unless there is special regulatory modification are established.
The next discussion about the distributions of the collected zakat on the mineral. There are three ways theoretically on the distributions. First, Abu Hanifa classified this dues with fa'i and argues that it must be disbursed the same way fa'i is. This view implies that zakat collected must be accumulated in the national coffer for the nation's interest as a whole. This opinion indicates that it distributions must take into account the interests of every citizen of the country, Muslim and non-Muslim alike. The second is Malik and Ahmad consider it as zakat. This view indicates that the zakat collected can only be distributed to 8 group of the recipient of the zakat. And the third is Shafi'i. Shafi'i has 2 reports. Some of its scholars say it is like zakat and others say it depends on the applied rate. If 20% is used, then its zakat must be treated like fa'i. But if 2.5% is applied, it must be treated as zakat. Meaning that if it is considered as zakat, then it must be distributed to zakat recipient, and on the other hand, if it is treated like zakat, then the distributions of its zakat collections should serve the nations as a whole. As an extension to what has been pointed by Shafi'i, those who do not classify these two as zakat apply the charge 20% to non-Muslim too, while those who classify it as zakat do not, because zakat is a form of worship does not apply to non-Muslim. Nonetheless, both views suggest that the zakat collected from mineral must be considered as a zakat collections. This point indicate that the due collected must only be distributed for the 8 eligible recipient group of the asnaf. That's all from me. Thank you.
So the next part is theoretical framework of zakat on minerals. So the theoretical discussion on zakat on minerals, starting with the collecting of zakat and ending with the distribution as specified by scholars. So figure 8.1 depicts the proposed theoretical foundation of zakat on minerals.
Knowledge of zakat on mineral should not be limited to gold and silver. On a practice level, policymakers, particularly zakat institutions and government, should recognize the value of zakat on minerals and move quickly to implement it, as it will aid the poor, needy, and the other asnaf in general. In conclusion, this study has successfully examined the idea behind the zakat on mineral, which should be further investigated in future studies.